Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2020 found footage horror film Godforsaken, a film that is directed and written by Ali Akbar Kamal, and it stars Chad Taylor, Katie Fleming and Dominic DeRose. Now, even though this is a 2020 film, it's just getting its release now, and it focuses on, initially at the beginning of the film, there's a small town, and Chad Taylor's character, Chad, returns home to his small town to attend a funeral. However, the funeral turns into chaos when the young lady who is being buried appears to come back alive. He then returns with a documentary film crew, because he's into filmmaking, to try and document what is going on in this small town. And what is going on is there are a series of miracles that continue to escalate, turn into hysteria, and more sinister things start happening from there. Right, what are my thoughts on Godforsaken? Well, as you know, anybody that watches my channel and watches my content and has watched it over any length of time really will know that I'm a fan of found footage. I'm always looking for a good quality found footage film. Generally speaking, they're fairly hard to come by these days, good quality found footage. And where does this one sit in the found footage genre? Well, actually, it's a pretty watchable found footage film, this. I had a pretty good time with it. For me, when I watch a found footage film, there are certain, things I expect to see with a found footage film. I don't necessarily think they're difficult films to make, and obviously you can make them on a low budget, as long as you don't overcomplicate it with a ridiculous plot and all this kind of stuff. They can be fairly simple to make. Found footage 101 is not really a difficult thing. You kind of need to have a reason to be filming, which for aspects of this film there is a reason there, because he's filming a documentary about this stuff that's happening in this town, and beyond that, in regards to the filming later on, it kind of loses its reason to carry around a camera at a certain point in this film. So it kind of, for me, lost a few points there. I think some of the best found footage certainly is some of these ones that kind of put cameras around houses and things like that, so they still catch footage whether you're filming it or not. But as a found footage film, this generally works, and it follows essentially the rules of found footage and the tick box exercise for found footage. Now, that could either be a strength or a weakness depending on you as an audience member. What I would say is, if you're not a fan of found footage, this is definitely not going to win you over, because it doesn't really innovate or anything like that. But if you are a fan of found footage, then you've got a pretty good quality found footage film here, because there's a real sense of uncomfortableness watching this film, unease, that I think you should get in good found footage. You should be experiencing what these characters are experiencing that are doing the filming and part of the documentary. You should almost be part of the crew and experience everything with them, and you really do. And there has to be, I think, as well, with good found footage, a real sense of fear and confusion. Again, this film absolutely captures that. There's screeching and screaming going on everywhere. There's blood, there's bodies, there's all this stuff going off. And you don't rightly know what's going on, because the characters don't rightly know what's going on. All you know really is that there's this woman who kind of has risen from the dead. Everyone assumes it's a miracle from God, and there are some miracles take place following this that would suggest it's a miracle from God, and some of them even suggesting in the town that this character is God itself. So you could understand this mass hysteria in the town. There's people being cured, cripples can walk, people being cured of ailments and all sorts of things. So you could understand this mass hysteria in this town. They'll be beyond overwhelmed with it all. And then when it all turns sour by the end, that's when the horror really kicks in, and you see the ugly side of it, and it almost turns into like a zombie film to some degree. It kind of loses its focus in the sense of is this a religious film? Is it a demonic film? Or is it a zombie film? It doesn't really lay its hat on any of those by the end of the film, but you don't generally give a monkeys as an audience member watching this, because you're just so anxious and scared with these characters as to what's going on, what's around the corner, who's next, what is the next horrific sight that they're going to see. So for me, I really do think that good found footage, you should really experience the fear and confusion with the characters, and this film, I thought, for the most part, really nailed that. Aspects of it, it doesn't explain itself particularly well. You don't really know what's going on. Like I've said, is it a religious event? Is it a demonic event? Is it a zombie apocalypse? Who knows? It doesn't really give you those answers. So if you're looking for those kind of answers, you aren't going to get them here. All you're going to get is fear and confusion, and a pretty by the numbers found footage film. But it's been done well. So it doesn't innovate. It's not overly original. But it is a nicely made found footage film. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Because I was sat watching this for big chunks of the film on the edge of my seat and really engrossed into what was going on, because I was scared with them. And I like that about found footage. I like the fact that it can draw me in as an audience member and I feel like I'm part of the movie. And that's my found footage when it's done right. So definitely want to check out if you're a found footage fan. If not, I wouldn't bother. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back with plenty more content and reviews on the channel very, very soon.